Listen to the kids. Bro. Listen to the kids, bro.
Welcome to the 36 Chambers of Fatherhood show. I am your host, Scuba Bell, the Papa Dundada. Swing it over to my other co-host.
I am S. Hamilton, a.k.a. Old Head Waller, doing this for all the fathers worldwide. I pass it over to the man behind the scenes, the man behind R Squared Network, Mr. Steve. Talk to him.
Hey, how was your weekend, fellas?
The weekend was beautiful. The week was good. I had to do my grown man thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I wasn't here for the past 3 weeks. I was out on grown man business, doing the things I like to do. Being a father out here, taking care of the family.
No, we told everybody you was an international spy. So,
So it worked out. It worked out for the best.
You was out saving the world.
Right, because the Russians, they ain't after me no more, man.
Okay.
The Russians, they ain't after me no more. We all.
Cool. You worked that situation out?
Well. Yeah,
it's
it's pending. You know what I'm saying? It's pending. Okay. But we all good over here. So,
real quick. Can you elaborate on your travels to the studio session, please?
Oh,
what was it like getting here?
What was it like getting here, and then you noticed something about a particular passenger?
Oh, all right. On the weekends, MTA. They do a lot of the construction.
New York City, by the way.
New York City. New York City MTA Transit. They do a lot of their constructions on the weekend because it's less ridership. So, to get up to where I'm at, I had to jump on the train. No trains was running where I was at. So I had to take a bus. So as I'm on a bus, there was this grown black man sitting across from me. At first, I thought he was on the phone with his old lady. But come to find out, he was on the phone with his mom's. But he was having a fit because we're stuck in traffic. There was like gridlock where the bus was. And he was just like, oh, come on. What's going on? Like, and the bus driver's like telling them, like, listen, we got to go up this street barely. And then we're going to cut down. It's going to be a smooth ride. So what he had to do is come across the bridge to the Bronx side to come back over to the Manhattan side. So he was all stressed out, kicking his legs. He had the big, heavy varsity coat on, looking crazy in the face.
How old was this gentleman?
I would say that gentleman looked like he was in his 40s.
40s.
Yeah.
So he was officially a grown-ass man.
He was a grown-ass man on the phone.
Kicking his feet like he was 5
Yeah,
years old.
he was catching a tantrum.
You said he had a starter jacket on?
Nah, he had like some heavy-ass varsity joint. Some shit you look like you get from... Third Avenue or something like that.
Mind you, it's 70 degrees outside.
Yeah, it was crazy. Right. But nah, he even said it though. He was like, I wore this big ass wool coat. Nah, man, like he was definitely he definitely needed he was off his meds. I can say that much. But which leads into the nice segue of today's topic, which is about mental health.
Oh, not mental.
Not mental health. I said emotional health. Yeah. I do apologize. Because mental health went into the left field.
Yeah, like, mental health could bring this conversation to a whole nother spectrum.
Emotional health. So run into him right, Scoob, about mental health.
So emotional health.
I keep saying mental health. I almost got mental health.
Yeah, no, it's because we hear it all day long. Yeah. This person had mental health issues. Right. You hear about kids in school, whatever the case may be. But emotional health.
I just want to point out that some emotional health issues stem from mental health issues.
I guess, yeah, in a sense.
But I guess it depends on what we're looking at as our definition of mental health, or emotional health. So why don't
Boom. So
why don't I just let you talk?
Per the Mental Health Association, emotional health is a positive sense of well-being which enables an individual to be able to function in society and meet the demands of everyday life. Emotional health begins during the early stages of our lives. We pick up habits from our parents, guardians, good and bad. So with everyday life, it sounds like the gentleman on the bus had an everyday life of going on the bus, going to work, whatever the case may be. I know my everyday life is considered to be somewhat hectic. I wake up, the crack of dawn, definitely not earlier than you, but I wake up at the crack of dawn. I get myself ready. I get my children ready. Wake up my wife so she could get her things moving. I drop my 2-year-old off. I go to work, deal with the craziness of work. I get out, go to basketball practice for one of my kids or the other nonsense scenarios, and then finally I sit down and rest. Now, some people cannot handle this type of stress, right?
Yeah, he was stressed. This guy was stressed out on the bus, man. Me personally, I think he needed to take a boo boo or something like that, man. Okay. Because you know how that is. It's like you just trapped on the bus. He got his belly is just grumbling and shit like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But he looked real stressed, man.
But now let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. As per the
Mental Health Association.
You just came here with receipts.
I came here ready. Ready.
As per that definition, a cynical person, and I'm not saying I'm cynical, but I'm just trying to,
It's like the third time that you said you called yourself cynical on the show, but we're not gonna do labels here, so that's fine.
You see what I'm talking about? You see what I mean?
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready for you today.
He was like on episode 3 at the 27-minute mark.
Yep.
27 minutes. Can we just dial that back here on this nice little big screen?
Right.
No, but it sounds like what they say emotional health is being able to conform to the expectations of society. And is that something that we want to promote, just like straight up conformity, just do what society tells you to do?
Not necessarily. So the way I view emotional health is how one copes with everyday life of society. So everyday life could be different for you, could be different for me, could be different for you. So how you cope with taking the MTA bus, how you cope with your boss telling you gotta stay later for work, how you cope with certain things is what I view emotional health to be tied with.
So it's coping is the way you...
It's how one copes with...
Under tense situations.
Yeah, essentially, or being on a bus and being late being late is tension, but being on a bus in traffic, that's not necessarily, it wasn't a tense situation for you. You had an appointment with us, you know what I'm saying? So you were like, I guess I got to text these dudes and let them know, whatever.
I mean, like, for me, I started you get your training when you be in a crowded supermarket or you be in a post office. And anybody from Harlem who knows the two major post office, well, it's more post office than that. But there are a few spots that will test your emotional health. Mm-hmm. And that's the one up by 153rd Street in McCombs and 116th Street between 7th and 8th. It seems like they only have 2 post office workers working there.
But let me ask you a question.
Steve is crazy. So.
What are you still doing in the post office?
Well,
Steve is so crazy.
That's
Steve, once he says, "Let me ask you a question," but he starts that off about this dude's.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you get that orange slip in your mailbox. Okay.
By
you have to go. Yeah, you got to go pick up your mail. Okay. You understand?
Okay. I just feel like we have collectively made a mistake in life when we got to end up in the post office. It's just like.
That and the DMV.
Yes. Like you did something wrong.
That's what my that's when I'm unhealthy emotionally.
Yeah. Like you just have to learn. And it does start when you're a child. You have to learn that you have to wait and be patient. And then the longer you you practice that as a child, when you get older, you start to develop, okay, we in traffic, I'm cool.
You bring up a good point, though, that you learn how to develop it. Yeah. But where do we learn it from?
We learn it from
the household.
In the household.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I spoke to... Yeah, she was a psychiatrist, so I spoke to a psychiatrist, right?
Oh, he had receipts.
But this was something completely different.
I swear. He came prepared. He talking to psychiatrists and all that.
This was something completely different. I just happened to have this conversation with this psychiatrist. Convenient conversation with a psychiatrist months before I even thought about this. So I had this conversation. She said she deals with children. She said that she deals with one little girl, and the little girl, her parents bring her in. The little girl's always anxious. This girl's like 7 years old, always anxious, always jittery, always worrying about something. So she said throughout the sessions, she noticed that one person drops her off, and the person that drops her off is her grandmother. And she said the two feed off of each other like crazy. Because guess who's anxious as well?
The grandma.
Grandma's anxious. Because she's looking at the parents, and the parents, they're, I wouldn't say fine, but they're not as anxious. They're calm, they're relaxed. So they were asking her, we don't understand where she's getting this from because our home is relaxed. She is the only one who is giving off this type of energy. So then that's when the psychiatrist noticed, I noticed your mom is a certain way, and I noticed your daughter's a certain way. Who watches her? Oh, our mom does. We just never noticed. We just thought that was the way she was. Yeah. Nah, man. There's a reason why the grandmother was like that, and we obviously pointed out the reason why the granddaughter was like that. So that is one of the symptoms, is anxiousness. It's part of emotional.
Let me ask. Go ahead, sir.
No.
Cook. I'm ready. I brought receipts.
He was ready
so
for today.
I'm ready.
He was prepared, y'all.
Whoa,
he was prepared, y'all.
My God, I missed this. Whoa.
My job is to try to stump you.
Stump the Schwab. Y'all remember that show on ESPN? Yeah. But go ahead.
Nah, I mean, with the whole thing when you said about your kid is anxious, I'm like, damn. Sometimes my daughter, she be all jittery and.
Who you blaming this on?
I don't know.
Oh, man,
but what's jittery? But what's jittery?
I think I'm gonna blame this on my wife.
But what's jittery on a 3 or 4 year old? You know what I'm saying? Because my kids are always moving, grooving, always jumping around. Yeah. Now I got the same issue with, not issue, but I have the same situation with my 6-year-old. My 6-year-old has a problem where he has to do things perfectly. Perfectly. I don't know where he gets that from. I'm lying. Gets that from his mom, but he has to do things perfectly.
Yo, we thrown a lot of wives under the bus so far.
Hey, I threw a grandmother under the bus.
What's going on here?
And it may not. He's just out of control, like competitive.
This is 36 Chambers of Fatherhood, not Motherhood.
Yo, Steve, I came in ready when I tell you I missed this microphone, this room. Whoa! Right. I'm like Ric Flair right now.
All right.
However, no, with my son, it's not jitterness or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. He has a coping problem with losing. He just does not like to lose. Like, I watch this man go on the monkey bars, and he'll get to that one spot, and if he falls, he'll fall and he'll run back right to it.
He's competitive.
He is he's probably the worst person to play sorry with. You want to walk away. He's like, no, stay right here. No. Check that move again. I'm like, fam, relax, chill out.
It's not that serious.
That sounds like that came from you though. You know what I'm saying?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not the mom. I take that back.
Now let me
clean them crumbs up off the floor.
Yeah, I take that back, my love.
That one in the corner. Get it.
Now let me ask you this question, sir.
Cook.
Now you talked about potentially the grandmother being the source of that sort of jittery, anxious energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this leads me to another question. This is probably a topic for another show, but I just want to put it on your radar and think about this. As parents, right? Are there family members that, even though they're family and you love them, they are bad influences on your kids? And
100%.
What do you do in that situation? Do you keep them around? So in that situation, I'm just interested if the grandmother's energy was the cause or the root cause of the sort of anxiousness in the daughter. Do they say, well, you can't be around the daughter no more?
Well,
how do you handle that situation when a family member is not a good influence?
She made a joke and said, because one, they just thought that the mom was just like that. That's just who she's always been. But she had something that she needed to, fix. So they mentioned that, yes, they'll keep an eye on it or whatever the case may be. And they also mentioned to the grandmother, like, hey, maybe you should go in as well. But to your question, family members that you don't want around your children because you feel like they're bad influences. You love family, but at the same time, you have to moderate what's around your child. You know what I'm saying? The influences, what they're putting, what they're consuming. Not consuming, food-wise, even that's a thing too, but also consuming, what they see, what they're around. So you just have to moderate that.
You might have to ban me from being around my daughter.
Your daughter's gonna be doing what's the belly welly thing?
She gonna be like belly welly, what she meant.
Damn, there's gonna be like an overweight child coming in and your daughter's like, belly welly.
I don't know. My daughter right now she's 4 years old, so she's doing, what a 4-year-old does. That's just being all over the place. She's in this whole defiant stage now. Now she's just like, I want to exercise my right to not do what what you asked me to do.
Yeah.
So,
and that's when you say, what rights do you believe you have?
Yeah. But we have to. What is it?
Be diplomatic.
Yeah, and I find a better way to, I guess, help them understand, what the situation is and how to deal with it. Yeah. I'm all this stuff is new to me, so I'm learning as I'm going.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, you're talking about it.
Yeah, because I don't know. I need a hug every once in a while, man.
We all
need a hug.
You know what? It's a good thing that you said that. And just on this topic of emotional health, I feel like as men, and especially like as black men, we kind of have this idea that we just got to be tough.
Yeah, just eat through it. Yep.
And we just, I know that's sort of what I live by. Like, yo, the world is effed up. Just deal with it. Don't complain about your problems. But sometimes we, and by we, I can specifically say me, can say, I don't need to deal with a problem. I'm a man. I'm a father. My job is to just keep on going. Right?
Yeah, that's how I am.
And that becomes a coping mechanism to not deal with your emotional strife, to not say, I need a hug, or not say, like, something hurt my feelings, or I'm anxious about something, because you feel like you're a man and you got to be tough, and you got to be that example for your wife or your kids or whatever. So sometimes you got to just talk about your feelings, as soft as that sounds.
Yeah. Hey, yo, thank you, because you tied everything all together. Someone's listening to this and be like, yo, I clicked on 36 Chambers of Fatherhood so they could talk about Woo and the new Woo album, and these motherfuckers are talking about emotional health. Well, you just tied it in. Why we're talking about emotional health? so thank you, Steve.
I thought you were like pretending to tear up.
No. I'm just a new listener. It's like 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. I wanted to hear about Capadonna because I saw Sean rapping Capadonna bars. Yeah.
Talk about some
and these assholes are talking about emotional health.
I want to go around and ask everybody this, just about emotions, right?
Go.
Do you feel comfortable crying around your family? And when I say your family, I mean the household that you run. Right? Everybody might feel comfortable crying around their mother, right? But do you feel comfortable crying around your wife and kids? Because sometimes a good cry is healthy.
Of course.
I say that as someone who has not cried. So the last time I shed a tear was when my dog died on Thanksgiving of 2016. And before that, I was 16 years old the last time I cried. And I think all of that, when the dog passed away, Riley, was just the culmination of me pretending I was too tough to deal with anything. So I ask everybody, when's the last time you used around your wife or whatever? You know what I'm saying? You just cried.
The last time I cried was I'm not sure. The last time I cried, like a big, like emotional, like I didn't do it around my family. I actually did it in a car.
Right.
Yeah, I did it in a car because things were just hitting me. Waves of bullshit was just hitting me. And like you said, I'm a man, I could deal with it, I could tough it out. But when you don't share those emotions, it just bottles up and it's gonna blow up, right? So essentially I blew up in my car. So do I feel like I could cry around my family? I think so. I'm not gonna be confident and tell you that I can.
Lose respect for you?
Nah, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because it's depending on what's crying, like if I'm crying because if I'm crying because my favorite basketball team lost or something like that, she'll look at me like, yo, come on, dog, like are you serious? But if I'm crying literally because there's something bothering me that's, you know, affecting our household. There's no love lost there.
I think if anybody judges you for crying, maybe fuck them. And
Yeah.
they don't probably deserve your attention.
Yeah.
Well,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could honestly say I never had a crying moment, or never.
As an adult.
Now we're talking about with our family, right?
With your family. I haven't. I don't think I have.
I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I have a. I don't know. Different. I take in things differently.
But that's
like
what I'm saying.
Like with death and all of that stuff, a lot of people cry and all of that, and they really go hard with the tears and all that. Me, no. The only time I had a tear moment was when my best friend passed away, right. And I think it was what made me tear was the fact that his girlfriend, the mother of his child, she was tearing, and his brother was there, and it hit him the hardest.
Right.
So it kind of like, you know, you start to feel it, and it's like, you know, you wiping the corners of your eyes, but I don't know. I at times I feel I'm hardened.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
And I'm like, I'm hardened, and then it's like a lot of things don't, you know, it get me, like, you'll see me get, you know, pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, and like upset about something, but as far as like sitting there crying or something like that, or, you know, like, God damn, nah. For me, I just be like, you know what? I keep telling myself, yo, I don't got problems, I got solutions. That's all I keep telling myself. I don't got problems, I got solutions.
But is that a coping mechanism, right? Like, cause I want, and again, I'm with you. Like, for me, it was 16 years old and then 35 years old, right? Like that was my delta of the tears that had ever dropped from my eyes for anything.
Yeah,
right.
People passing away, family members, crazy things, losing jobs, getting cheated on, breaking up with people, all of that happened, no tears. And I think for me, and I'll just tell everybody, you know, what the situation was. And a lot of people like, oh, it's just a dog, you soft. But for me, I had that dog because, you know, if you're new to the show, you know that I'll tell you, like, I'm a single parent. And Riley, I had since he was like 8 weeks old. And it was just me and him before my son came to live with me full time. And when my son came to live with me, I was like, you know, Riley is your responsibility. So he was sick one day, Thanksgiving morning. We took him to the vet, and, you know, they told us there was nothing they could do, and they had to end it. And I had to tell him. And that was my son's, like, best friend, as well as, you know, when I was just living by myself, it was just me and that dog.
Yeah. And
it became me and my son's best friend. So it's just me and him at the vet, and they're like, there's nothing we can do. We got to put the dog to sleep. And I had to tell him, and I had to watch his heart break. And then we had to hold Riley, you know, together as they administered the thing. Cause you know what I mean? So all of, and I, you know, what do you tell your son at that point? You know what I mean? So, and all of the sort of emotions that I told myself, like, I just got solutions. I'm a man, deal with stuff. It's like all of that. All of the death, all of the heartbreak, all of the heartache, all of the anxiety, it all sort of came out in that one moment. And was I still sad afterwards? Yes, but in that moment, I sort of realized you have to let things out. You have to, this is why, like, now, if I have something that's stressing me out, I will just say it. If it pisses you off, so what? Because once you let something out of you, it's not in here no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, riling you up. So, like, I feel like a lot of the times before that, I would just be like, yo, I'm mad, so I have to show that I'm sad about something, but I can't be soft, so I gotta punch a wall.
Yeah.
Or I gotta yell at somebody.
Yeah.
Because I can't show those emotions, so let me overcompensate by being tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or let me just go and shoot my coworkers.
I mean, no. but that's how people deal.
I don't know why
That's
I'm
how
laughing
people
at that.
deal.
Oh shit! Yo, my mic went out. Oh, all right.
A lot of people.
I'm good.
A lot of people deal, but I can say this, that I do have to watch myself.
Yo, my mic keeps going out. Hold on.
I can say.
There we go.
One of the things that I do have to watch myself with is drinking.
Okay.
Because, I had an incident that happened. I was celebrating me and my wife, we were celebrating our wedding anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
3 years.
I don't know when this was, but
and it was past September.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. We were celebrating and we was having a good time, but we started drinking like from 11:30 in the morning to like around. It had to be like 5, 6.
Drinking where?
In the crib. So we drinking in the crib. So we drinking wine, we drinking vodka. All this other kind of drinks, right? And one question, that shit just escalated. And that turned the whole night. It just, to my wife, she was like, yo, she said, whatever it is that you're mad about, you need to like sit down and really get it out.
Yeah.
And, the right way. Because the way I came about it was crazy. And she felt like that this is something that I probably was holding on to, and just wouldn't talk about it or anything. But the alcohol just, brought it out. Which to me, I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like that's what it was, but
that's how alcohol do though.
But then, saying
that drink.
Yeah, but as she saw from her view, like I was holding that in. Mm-hmm. I was suppressing whatever I was thinking about or whatever I was feeling. And the joint just came out. And that, I have to like, when I drink, I have to keep telling myself like, be cool. Like, just be cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because that right there, like, that's what I mean by like, I'm so hardened. Like, I don't sit and cry about things. Mm-hmm. I don't have that type of, feeling. I mean, yeah, things get me like, sad. Like there was a moment that I did it hit the heart.
But was it your situation? It wasn't somebody else's. It was just an emotion that you reacted to.
It was an emotion that I reacted to it because I was just watching a video of it's children. Go back to the episode we talk about what was it about the kids they need better.
Yeah.
And I said that episode, and then I saw that one video about when the father was in court and how it was like he broke down. Right. Because that man and that
that's
female.
What the Olympic.
It wasn't the Olympic. It was
the gymnastic coach that was touching the.
It was a brother. It was a brother out of Cleveland.
Yes,
thank you. His daughter passed at the hands of her stepfather and
the
mom.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, it was like all over Facebook. It was a pretty sad story. So what he was saying is that there was
in the courtroom.
In the courtroom, yeah, you go.
In the courtroom, that father, he broke. And I felt that. And I felt like those, you know what I'm saying, that in the corners starting to, get watery.
Yeah.
Because it's like you feel your pain, like you want to do something so bad, but you can't.
Yeah.
So he really broke down. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as like dealing with my own situations, like I said, I feel like I'm hardened. Like it's just, like I don't have the emotion to cry. Mm-hmm. I get annoyed, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm like this, like, all right, I got to figure this out. What I need to do to, to get to the next level. I go into that mode, and then I just start chipping away at everything.
Which isn't bad either. Yeah. It's just, we're just talking about coping. So, the symptoms of what they call poor emotional health is 1, anxiety, 2, uncontrollable anger, 3, depression, 4, the major key.
Loss is the key to
loss of sex drive.
Loss of sex drive.
Yeah, that's one of the symptoms of poor emotional health.
I don't know.
You can't get it up.
Man, that's impotence, man. You're getting old and shit, man. You need some Viagra or something like that, man. I don't think that.
Not for no pill.
Not for no man.
They say, hey, man, if you're caught up in your ways and you just want to go to sleep and like, nah, I'm not really trying to do that.
Man, you just rub one out and call it a night, B. What's wrong with it?
That's a problem though, yeah. Because if you're in your bathroom,
that implies you have the urge to do that, right?
Man,
what you're saying is like that drive is not even there.
Sex drive. And when I think of sex, I think with another person. That's why that's me. But then we could go all day long about that.
My bad, y'all, for interpreting that. Or my ears ain't working. Like my wife would say, "No, you don't be listening." You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it is what it is. None of us listen.
Like
I don't listen at all.
I don't know. I can't really say that now.
I never experienced the whole loss of sex drive thing. Depression, yeah, but loss of sex drive.
If I'm annoyed about something and you trying to get it fixed, I'm ready. I'm like, yo, what's poppin'? I'm right here with it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Now, what can you do to become more emotionally intelligent? Let's go over a few things. One is identifying your personal strengths and building off of them and living from them. So I guess some people aren't aware of their personal strengths.
Okay, well, I'll start out.
And you be a little more confident in yourself, I guess.
I'm the man. Problem solved.
Well, all right. So now we're gonna really dig into this. So we had a conversation before we started recording. And I'm glad you brought it up because you said I'm the man, problem solved. And then we also thought about the whole when I first brought up emotional health, and you said, "Yo, I'm trying to conform." Like, you know, it sounds like they're trying to have me conform to society. Kanye West.
Oh God.
Well, we were having a discussion.
Yeah, we're going.
The way I view it, right? Kanye West saying that he is emotionally attached. His brother, his dragon energy brother is Donald Trump.
I have a name for this, by the way, and I coined this today.
Trumpier.
Oh,
so the Trumpier. Hashtag Trumpier.
Oh my God.
Hashtag Trumpier feels that, you know what? I love Trump. This is who I am. You know, F you if you don't like it, which is fine. You can have your opinion, but I could also be upset about that. One of the reasons is because hip hop as a culture is my life, right?
Right.
We can all attest to that. How did you and I meet?
I'm sorry.
You and I met through music.
I'm sorry, y'all. That for some reason my mind was ready to answer something else. Mm-hmm. But yes, me and Scoob, we met through music.
All right, boom. Steve, how did you and I meet?
We met through Rich, right?
Rich, and I met Rich through music.
Right.
Hip hop is in my vernacular. Hip hop is in the way I dress.
Hip hop.
Yo, hip hop is yes, exactly. Hip hop is my vernacular, the way I dress, the way I approach things. Shit, look at the fucking title of the podcast show, which you perfectly coined. Yes. 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. If you know where the 36.
Shouts out to Wu-Tang, baby.
Woo. So I feel somewhat attacked because one of our influencers is now saying that he agrees with one of our enemies. And I don't think I have the emotional health to deal with that personally. And you know what? I could go, and I go about my life happy. Kanye, I don't know Kanye West. See, I don't know him.
You must have read my eyes because I was about to say something.
I don't know him. I don't know him, and I don't care to know him. However, I feel like my culture is being affected. No. Well, yeah, of course, I care to know that Kanye West, but my culture is being affected by it because Donald Trump is, and I don't want this to be in any way, shape, or political. But at the same time, I don't rock with your man's values. I don't rock with his views. They don't match with mine. I do respect how he finessed his way into office. One could say, hey, you know, whatever, you did what you got to do. It was, man. You know, you got people to hate each other. Congrats to you. But moving forward from my life, my culture, now I feel like someone has let him in, and
did he let him in?
He let him in.
Let him in what?
When Donald Trump congratulates you on being a pillar of the black community, when you didn't do anything but say, yo, I like the way you're doing things, that's a problem to me. Because now it goes on Fox News and they're weaponizing your tweets and your words to go against people who are of hip-hop culture or just urban culture in general. So that's black, Hispanics. Now they only look at you as just a rapper. You should listen to Kanye because they told LeBron James, they told Kobe Bryant, just shut up and dribble. Yo, tell Snoop just to shut up and rap. He's down the drain. But Kanye says, yo, man, I love his dragon energy. Well, shit, y'all need to act more like Kanye. Why do I have to act like him? Why can I not like you? Why can't I not enjoy your views? And I agree with Kanye's opinions. He's fine.
He came hype. He came prepared today, yo. You see his energy? Yo, he got that dragon energy.
I got dragon.
He got dragon energy right
because
here.
It bothered me because as a hip hop culture and as black culture, that girl Chrisette Michele, when she sang that national anthem, they threw her under the bus. They tore her apart. Her parents didn't even talk to her. But Kanye West wears a hat and says this man shares the dragon energy as Donald Trump, and niggas is like, nah, B, but nah.
All right.
I can't take it.
I want to preface this by saying I agree with you, but I am going to play Al Pacino and pretend that you are Keanu Reeves. If you catch my movie reference.
I ain't white, B. No, I'm joking. Okay. I'm joking. I'm so yeah.
This is that film is Devil's Advocate.
Deadpool, yes. I know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, Chance the Rapper also gotten caught up in this because he tweeted out.
That kid, man.
And then he had to apologize.
That kid crazy.
Yeah.
Come on,
but
man. What you
because
doing,
he said
baby?
black people do not have to be Republicans.
And I agree with him 100%.
Now.
Oh, they don't have to be Democrats.
Yes, they don't have to be Democrats. Now, my just the counterpoint is, are we conforming to the groupthink that, okay, we've all decided we hate this guy, so if you want to wear one of his hats, then we have to go crazy and excommunicate you?
I see what you're saying there. So the way I view it is, again, Kanye, you, a listener, if you're a Trump supporter, that's completely fine. That is your view. That is your view. It is fine. Hip hop as a culture, right, has been rebellious.
Right.
They have been the rage against the machine.
Donald Trump says he wants to drain the swamp.
Yeah, I understand that. Donald Trump is a symbol of everything that is not hip hop. And when I say not hip hop, it's everything that his values are everything that we do not like.
Okay,
except the women thing,
and the money thing,
and I guess the violent thing. So maybe Donald Trump is hip hop, and maybe Kanye West is just letting us know we should love him.
So there have been so many people that have quoted Donald Trump or maybe
Kanye West in So Paul. Yeah.
So.
And me and Kanye West, we got dragon energy, man. Never forget the photo, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got that.
Oh, you got to put that in there.
Yeah, we got that dragon energy, baby.
Jesus,
you know
Sean. Jesus Christ. See what I have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. You know Sean is, if you're not watching the video, Sean is putting up a video.
Wait a minute.
Let me show you what this man Sean has a photo with him wearing Make America Great Again, a MAGA hat, alongside with Kanye West. Both of these men are black. Both of them have beards and have red hats that said "Make America Great Again."
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Now, so you do agree that it's okay for people of color to be Republicans?
Absolutely. I went completely off rip as to why I mentioned the Kanye thing, but Kanye's whole thing is hey, I'm saying what I feel, and you should just deal with it because I'm going against the mob.
I love, real quick, if I just interject with my madness, I just love how y'all, just kindly moved on.
It's part of emotional health.
From the MAGA hat. that just goes to show. That just goes to show y'all, ladies and gentlemen, how hated this kid is. Not Kanye, but Donald Trump, yo. See, me.
Just trying to throw you a life raft, brother.
See, for me, I did it. They all know me. I goof around, and there's a whole another story of why I had that hat.
You don't gotta explain yourself, brother.
Yeah, come on, man. We know you as we know you as old head wildin'.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
That's I do the things I like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I just love how they just was like, yeah, he got the hat on, and we just
started
move
whistling.
Yeah, right. We just move on.
Jesus
right.
But no, I mentioned it because you said. I brought up Kanye because you said that. Why does one have to conform to society? And essentially, that's what Kanye's doing. He's asking himself, well, why do I have to conform against what hip hop culture, what Black society is saying about Donald Trump. I view him another way, but my problem is that I think we had a discussion about this. I think he is a Trump supporter. I think he does not agree totally with the views of Donald Trump. I believe he agrees with his ideology and his dragon energy. And there's a podcast called Talkitecture, and there's a gentleman in there by Haitian Miguel, and he said that the thing with Trump supporters, male Trump supporters and female Trump supporters,
I think I know where you're going.
They view Donald Trump as this mega male alpha male.
Yeah, alpha
male.
He's
I'm king.
He is the id of America.
Yeah, he's the alpha male. He talks the way he talks, and if you don't like it, you better eat it. So the white dudes who been scared to speak out against black dudes, that's why they come out with tiki torches and say, get out of here, nigger, get out of here, Jew. They felt empowered by him. And I feel that Kanye looks at Donald Trump because Kanye only talks to Kanye and sees Trump talking like that and says, this guy gets it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in Kanye's crib. I'm not around his wife. Nobody is except that circle.
Right.
But I'm looking at someone who has poor emotional health and doesn't know how to cope with things or life or the media. Someone telling him no, his mom passed it. This is someone who hasn't coped with these things yet. Right. And we are getting him projecting what he wants to be. He wants to be Donald Trump. He wants to be a white man.
Okay, no, so see, I think that
your man want to be white man.
I only threw that in as a joke.
I think that
we got so serious that I just needed to throw that in, and I needed to get a laugh.
Astute observation, good sir. But I will just.
I needed some laughter after that. Go ahead.
I'll take a little bit of a different angle.
Go ahead.
I do find, and we can have all those serious conversations about what Kanye means and what we should mean and how we should look at this. But before I can have that conversation about what is this real statement that Kanye is trying to make, I just have to remind myself, but he has an album coming out next month. And so this is all convenient.
That man is not that genius, bro.
No. I'm not saying genius.
I was about to say.
I'm saying that this is, in my mind, nothing more than a marketing stunt, right? And so I can honestly say that I don't care, right? If he's a Trump supporter, fine. All I know about Trump is that Trump surrounds himself with yes men and opportunists. And to me, Kanye's biggest goal, as he stated many years ago, is he wants to get enough money to where he can do whatever he wants. So if he has to beg for a meeting from Mark Zuckerberg, or he has to beg for a meeting from Tim Cook, or someone in power will meet with him so that he can say some crazy idea that the people around him told him, yes, that was genius. So he can make clothes that look like they're garbage bags.
Damn,
right? That cost $3,000.
He's going in on him more than I am. But
now, this is the same person.
That's what my wife, she says, his clothes is morph written.
Look, but hold on, and this is the same person who, on the one hand, has said George Bush doesn't care about black people, right? He didn't say Donald Trump doesn't care about black people. He said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It's also the same person who told Oprah, don't build schools in Africa, give me money so I can create a clothing line, because that is better for the world.
Nah, man, say how you said it earlier. Said your man, chill, B. Said your man Kanye West wanted to sit down with Oprah so she could give him money to make $3,000 jeans, B.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
Absolutely. And that's the same guy. And again, I feel like we're in this crazy world where we are even the fact that we are even having a conversation about what are Kanye West's political motivations, right? This is the idea where people that are popular and have done no research on any of these things, but they feel something, then people who are more well spoken or well read will now try to interpret those feelings and squish them into whatever agenda they have. So Kanye West literally said nothing, right? Nothing of value or importance. And now there are intellectuals having conversations like, what does he mean, love everybody? That is the most basic idea ever. And we see it every day,
of course,
with Trump and the pundits out there. So again, this to me seems very convenient, and it seems like Kanye West will be just another of the opportunists around Trump for whatever, because Trump is the sun, and all these opportunists orbit around him to get some of his light on them for whatever their individual goals are.
I agree with you, but you have your own point of view, so I'll let you cook.
Nah, I mean, for me, I think Kanye just, he's a mad scientist. I think he concocted this whole scheme.
I mean, we're talking about it right now, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying that he concocted this 2 years ago when he was on tour and said, I would vote for Donald Trump.
Well, I think over a period of time, as he was sitting down trying to figure out moves, for his next ideas, I think, not the first year, but I think year number 2, that's when he started to get the ball rolling and say, hey, we need to come up with something so brilliant that it's going to knock them off their ass for this next album.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Now, let's not get, because the topic is emotional health.
No, it is emotional health, 100%. Because you said that you feel like he concocted everything, and that goes to what Steve said, and that's... It's convenient that he's tweeting all this stuff now, right? Do you feel he is a supporter? A MAGA supporter?
I don't know, because I don't really get... For me, I have friends who got their conspiracy theorists. They go hard with it. For me, I don't care what that man, who he like. If you like Donald Trump, you like Donald Trump.
But and listen, why are we looking at Kanye West to be any kind of a moral leader?
Oh my God, that's what I said to somebody. I said,
or an intellectual leader.
It's not even an intellectual leader. It's about culture.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Like, I said the same thing about him, and I mean that with no disrespect. Now, this is not like somebody like a Talib Kweli doing this. Or Mos Def doing this. This is Kanye West.
We had this conversation through text.
Right. He been set tripping since 1998.
Yeah. Is Kanye West holding rallies? Is Kanye West opening
schools?
That's what I'm saying. Kanye West. So he made some songs about the Black experience for his first album, and then it's just been all money and him and his ego. So to me, he has always been perfectly aligned with Donald Trump. So this is not a surprise, and I'm not mad at it. Now I get why people would be upset about it, but I'm sorry to break it to you, Donald Trump represents a large portion of what the hip hop culture is.
Right.
Or what the popular hip hop culture.
Popular hip hop culture.
And
ego.
The last thing I want to say is, like, Kanye, the reason I see people get upset because now we could all boycott him. All the Trump supporters are gonna buy his album and
that's
listen
the
to
shit
it,
that
and
irks me, yo.
they're gonna
bubbles
listen to
my
it.
skin.
They're gonna listen to it while they burn Colin Kaepernick jerseys.
It burns my skin that happens. Like that gets me so aggravated.
And just one final sort of point I want to put on this, right?
That was what you said. That was what you said about they listening to Kanye West while they burning
Kaepernick. But it's just that he creates that. It just upsets me.
And again, why? What is the goal other than to sell some albums, right? And if you say, okay, things didn't move fast enough under Obama, or maybe you supported Obama, but Obama did his 8 years, so let's try something different, right? What do you believe in, and what do you want to change, right? And what has Trump spoken to that? If it's about love, has Trump displayed love other than love towards you, or love towards the people that have said nice things about him, because his ego is, or his emotional health is so fragile that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. If you say something good about him, then he loves you. And you say something that dissents with him, and then you're the worst person in the world. So again, it can't be love, because this man hasn't displayed that. Are you worried about the plight of black people? Has Donald Trump has he showed that he cares about that? Or is he saying, I'm the law and order guy, you guys are living in carnage, and I'm going to send police to come and lock you up? And people that are protesting about police brutality, they're un-American and they should be thrown in jail. So is that the reason? Do you want more police on the streets? You know what I'm saying? Do you believe that all black people are so distraught that they have nothing to lose? Right? So just explain to me, other than a marketing stunt, what this is for, and then fine. But other than that, I genuinely don't. And look, I'm going to listen to the album, but I never thought Kanye West was, not since like his third or fourth album, I never thought he was a voice for the people. Because he's not out there like Killer Mike. Right. He's not out there like the Talib Kweli's. He's not out there like the Commons.
Right.
Now, as far as when you say voice for the people, do you mean voice for the black culture, or do you mean voice as for the culture, hip hop culture, pop culture?
Voice for the black.
Now, as far as black culture, I give you that.
Hold on, because Charlamagne said it best. He said, all these things been happening, but you've been quiet. You understand?
No, so you good.
Good. No, yeah, I thought I kept
that's probably just your headphones.
He said, all these situations that's been happening, like with black people, from police brutality, the killings, and all of this stuff, has been going on. But where have you been? That's what he said.
He was over there $3,000 jeans and worrying about his personal wealth.
So that's what it goes back to what Steve said, and what I said too. Like
that aligns with the Republican Party. So
why people are so hyped. Sure. So hype about Kanye. Why everybody making him the hero?
Well, it's not necessarily making him the hero, right? So since we've known Kanye, he's been set tripping. He's been set tripping on national TV when he said George Bush didn't like black people.
That was the beginning of it.
That was the beginning of it. Yeah. He set tripped when he took away an award from Taylor Swift and said, you know what, this belongs to Beyonce because she has the best album out. So he's been set tripping. However, and when I say we, I don't only mean black people. I mean, as a culture, right? Hip-hop culture, we viewed him as your crazy uncle. Like, this dude that just talks wild and crazy. However, this little culture, we look at Kendrick Lamar, we look at J. Cole, we look at all those other guys as almost like protectants of the culture, right? Because they aren't doing the whole wish-wash, Sprite drinking, all that other stuff that's going on. That sounds good, but hey, it doesn't bring a message. So Fox News, when they talk about Kendrick Lamar, they say, he's talking about the police brutalities and all this other stuff. Get out of here. Get out of here, kid. You talk about the J. Cole's. J. Cole, he talked about Trump. See you later. We talk about those people. We could also bring in basketball players, LeBron James. Shut up and dribble.
Right.
But the minute this man opened his mouth and said that he and Trump share dragon energy and that he's going against the mob, they use those words to uplift Trump on Fox News. And then it's almost like, oh, he gets it. This guy right here, this man who looks just like them and who raps just like them, he gets it. None of you guys got it. So it's almost like translations are getting lost. Now we're not fighting it, or not we, but they don't look at the hip hop culture the same. Not as an enemy, but damn, these motherfuckers won't shut up. They won't keep on. They just keep on coming. LeBron James and Kevin Durant. LeBron James is the biggest, most successful, most wealthy, most outspoken black person on earth, right? Well, not black person, but he's an influential person in our culture.
Right.
Then you have Kanye just kind of open the door for them. Like, oh, I'm not like these niggas. I like you. Dragon energy, my brother.
So, is he? What's his emotional health?
Well, I broke down the emotional health, and I think Steve and you guys broke down the emotional health of it's an ego-driven thing. Maybe I shouldn't be looking into it as much as I should, or be as bothered by it, because these are men that share poor emotional health.
I'm just saying.
But now, how does he?
Kanye's last 3 albums, or maybe more than that. What has he said on those albums? What has he done on those albums about the people and the culture? Or was it more about?
It's all
him?
about himself. It's all about him. When we talk about "I Am a God," I rocks with that album. By the way, what was the name? What was the name of it? Yeezus. Yeah. So I rocks with Yeezus. The one before that, "Life of Pablo," was a collective of good music.
Let me ask you a question here. I mean, let's look at the rap that's been out. But isn't all rappers egotistical, all about themselves?
100%.
Come on, hold on.
100%.
Go ahead. A rapper with no rhyme.
Hold on.
He said rapper with no rhyme.
Here we have J. Cole, who's he's into the conscious thing. It's like half and half. And we have Kendrick, who's also into conscious and it's street. Then we have all your others, your Talibs of the world, your Commons of the world.
But let's talk about the bigger ones that influence. So we got Drake, we got Drizzy,
Drake, and all.
We got Jay.
We
got
Kendrick.
Well, now he mentioned. He mentioned.
No, but I'm saying you gotta include him in the influencer.
No, he just mentioned him. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, all the rappers, they about themselves. They talk about what they want and how they're gonna get it. They're not on some public enemy, fight the power. And if it is, it's like a sprinkle of salt. They want some salt bait, like just a little bit. So why does Kanye get condemned so much for saying
because there is still sort of at least some attempt to balance the ego part of it with the larger plight of the people, and it's not just what you say on the records, but it's what you do outside of the records, right? Bingo. So I could go and make the most braggadocious record, and then when you talk to me in an interview, and listen, nobody's saying he needs to be humble or anything like that, right?
Zero.
Kanye can make the music he wants. I don't believe that this is out of line with his character, and I think if Trump wasn't president, that people would have no problem with this, and they would probably be great friends, right? Just because I do think that they share that kind of energy where they
dragon energy.
As much as they
say energy,
as much as, and I never believed like Kanye.
I need that on a shirt.
Said, I want the media to leave me alone. No, you didn't. The worst thing that would happen to Kanye emotionally, I think anyway, is if the people stopped looking for him, if people stopped wanting to take pictures of him, if people stopped paying attention, right? So, and like I say, I see those similarities between those two. So, maybe the problem is not with Kanye. Maybe the problem with us is with us for expecting anything from him.
But we always do that. We always build our artists up. High expectations, and then we break them down. Then we break them down. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like that. It's one of the reasons why I don't get into it. Like, I like the artists for what I like them for. The music, the art that they do, all that kind of stuff. Whatever they do after work, that's on they. That's on they. Because it's no more different than me and you going to work.
Would you listen to R. Kelly album and not feel like he's?
I've listened to an R. Kelly album after.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you heard 12 Play?
What's 12 Play?
That's R. Kelly album.
Nah.
Or Chocolate Factory.
It's been a minute since I listened to those albums.
Ignition remix, I have to come out and dance to. I'm sorry, but no. To what you were saying, you look at only the artist. You don't look at anything behind.
I don't get because I asked my wife this. I said, "Why are you so pumped up? Why are you talking to me like you're across the street?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she gets real animated and powerful, and I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of people that
you gotta tell her to use her inside voice.
No, there's a lot of people. My wife, she's very passionate when she talks about things. That's why I love her.
That was a good cleanup. I like
nice,
that.
Man.
That was nice.
You're good. You're good.
That's why they call him Old Man Waller.
You know what I'm saying? Old Head Waller. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're an old head. You got that wisdom, but you're Waller.
I just don't understand why do people get so. They put so much, energy
or
into
put these people on a pedestal.
Yeah, they put these people on a pedestal. You know, like wow, they just entertainment. They're merchant. I mean, did I say it right? Merchants? They're not merchants, right? No.
Merchants would be someone who sells things, but they do sell.
Yeah, they sell
do
things.
Sell. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you don't get hyped about the owner of Gucci and all of that stuff. You know, you just go in there. You like their work. I like this. I like that. Give me that. I'm out of here. Now, whatever Gucci, you know, the owners of Gucci, whatever their political views is, whatever. I don't care about that shit, man. I like them shoes you did, man. Give me that shit, man. I'm out of here. But that's the way I feel about music and Kanye. I like him because on a music production level, he is he's one of the the dopest. You know what I'm saying?
Hands down.
Yeah, hands down.
Hands down. You can never take away his talent.
Exactly.
Zero.
And on top of that, to be a lyricist, he's dope too. And how he put things together. Now, he wanna rock with Trump? Go ahead, fella. Go ahead, rock with Trump. I mean, I don't know if your man going like that, or your people, your fans going like that, but hey, I don't care about the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
do believe a lot of people are full of shit when they say they're not going to listen to the album.
I never said I wasn't going to. Let me put that out.
And then on top of that, remember, Kanye West ain't the only rapper that was rocking with Trump. Come on, back in the 90s, rappers been talking about Trump.
That's what I was trying to say.
You said that, yeah. You said it was a braggadocious thing. Yeah, everybody was trying to live with him. Live like him,
Yeah, and they've been talking about Trump in the 90s. Yo, guess who the black Trump? Raekwon. You know what I'm saying? You know?
36 Chambers.
Look, 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Raekwon. You know, I did music with him. I could say that. You know what I'm saying? Good brother. So people been, I mean, yeah. Trump is a wild dude. He's always been in, got his nose in something. He been had his nose in shit since the Central Park 5, taking out big page ads in the Post.
Never apologized.
And never apologized
to that dude.
Yeah, he's been wilding, and now that he's president, okay, fine. Whatever, you still set tripping. I mean, I know for me, as a man, I still got to get up and do my thing to take care of my family. Yes, like my wife said, she said, but you also have to understand that certain things that he do to put in place, it could also affect that. It's like a domino effect. But I said, we'll cross that bridge when we come. But right now, I got to get up. I got to go to work. I got to make this money. Things got to be taken care of. We need more 36 Chambers of Fatherhood hats coming soon. You know what I'm saying? And shirts. And we got to build the brand all square.
But
we got to keep going.
But you bring up a good point as far as what your wife says. Now, there's something that and I'll say it right now. It's something that we could say when we're looking at these entertainers. We all broken, emotionally healthy, right? So I could say the way I view Kanye and the way he's carrying on about this Trump thing, and the way it's bothering me, I should say, is that I'm unhealthy in that sense. However, your wife mentioned, what he says. It's not that Trump is just wilding, right? Trump is wilding on a higher scale. He's saying things and it's affecting people.
Yeah.
He's
an enigma.
He's an enigma. He's saying Muslims are this, Mexicans are that. So that's fine. He can have those views, but then when people act on those views is where things get tricky.
And this is the
You say he got an emotional health problem too?
Who?
Absolutely.
No, yeah, we said that. Yeah. I mean, we're tying Donald Trump and Kanye West together. This is all about emotional health and how people should not act like Donald Trump and should not act like Kanye West.
So, yeah, I mean, Trump clearly never got enough love or affirmation from his father, and therefore he is always trying to prove himself and has always wanted to be in the high society life, and people always looked at him as low class. So he always had to prove himself. You don't think I belong in the New York real estate business? That's fine. I'm going to get a building. I'm going to become the biggest developer.
And I rocks with that.
You don't think I belong here? I'm going to go there and show me. But he plays in the dirt, and he is always looking for respect. And I still believe that is when Obama roasted him so bad at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that is when he decided, I'm really going to do this thing. Right? Now, even today, it doesn't matter. And see, I had a long discussion about whether Trump was a racist or a bigot or whatever, or an opportunist.
Trump is a Trumpist.
And where I have come to with that is, if you no, that's a real
Trumpist.
thing.
Just like the Kanye song. I think I love Kanye.
I think
This is a Trumpist.
Trump
Sounds like a donut.
I think Trump, like Kanye, is looking for
donut.
affirmation from wherever he can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Trump strikes me as a person who does not love himself and therefore needs to look outwards for that love.
He's projecting.
And will take it wherever he can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he sees a crowd of angry white men that feel like they are losing their status in the world, and he can sort of give them a voice by walking a line without saying the explicit racist thing, even though sometimes he does cross the line.
Mm-hmm.
And they love him for it, he will take that love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Kanye West says, I love Trump, then he will love them too. If Vladimir Putin says Trump is a smart guy, then he loves them too. It doesn't matter what they stand for. What he knows is they love me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And just to take this all 360 or 36
180
yes,
on a 36
all the way
chamber.
back around
Right.
to the whole fatherhood aspect. Teach your kids emotional health. Tell them that you love them. Let them know that it's not, you don't have to hold things in, because when children do not feel loved, they go around and they will look for love wherever they can get it from the worst places.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I think that is that's what we see with Trump, and that is, I think, what is happening with Kanye.
I agree. So as much as the whole Kanye situation bothered me, like you, and like the listener.
It didn't bother me.
Well, no, it didn't bother you. But like the listener, at the end of the day, I go home to 2 kids and I teach them what it is to be an able person in society. People could say, oh, but you're conforming them to society. No, I serve my community by being a great father at home and being a great person outside of my home, and allowing my children to see that. Great person could be, I see someone in the street that needs help with, they popped a tire. I could call 911 for you. I got you, dog. Don't worry about it. Serving my community in those type of ways, and I'm serving my home in those type of ways. We need to look into emotional health, make sure that we're right, make sure that we're coping with situations the correct way. This was a good discussion between you two brothers.
Yes.
This is
I
36
agree.
Chambers of Fatherhood. You're not going to get a white rice over white paper plate opinion. And again, that's white rice over white paper plate opinion. No, it means bland ass opinion. You're not going to get a bland ass opinion of how and this and that. No, this is what you came here. This is what you listened to. This is 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. I'm the only light-skinned person in here.
We don't judge you for that.
They don't judge me, but I'm the one who's the most emotional. So there you go.
He came ready today.
You know why? Because I haven't. When I tell you,
he turned into a tomato.
I love this, right? I love this right here. This setting, the microphone. Whoever's listening to this in their car, they be like, either shut the hell up, or they're like, this dude is talking. Preach. And they're gonna be thinking the same way. So my Kanye West moments is when I'm in the car. I'm like, I'm about to, I gotta bring it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I gotta bring energy. I gotta bring dragon energy.
He brought the dragon energy, yo.
I have to. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Donald Trump and Kanye for that.
Dragon energy. I love that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Huh? Trump, yeah.
Trump, yeah.
You know, for that dragon, that's hot right there.
That old Trump, yeah.
Word up, I missed that old Trump, yeah. We need that dragon energy. You know what I'm saying?
So, Steve, can you? I think you delivered your parting words. Okay. All right.
I was holding on to this.
Okay.
Moment. So in light of Kanye West and Trump and everybody else, and emotional health is very important. And this is actually literal advice I gave Steve Jr. earlier in the week.
I thought you were about to say Steve Jobs. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
No, man, me and Steve Jobs are talking in the spirit realm, But I said, when we get so upset about the decisions that people make, it's because we've put them on a pedestal, right? And what I said to Steve Jr. is, by the most basic laws of physics, anyone you put on a pedestal has no choice but to look down on you. And think about that, right? So maybe there's no reason to get upset with Kanye because we never should have placed him so high on that pedestal anyway, right? And if Kanye West is placing Trump on a pedestal, Trump really says, yes, thank you, Kanye, I love you, but he's just looking down on him because he's just saying, I'm higher than you, right? So think about that really. And I actually tell everybody, that I want to share that message with the world. Anybody you put on a pedestal has no choice but to look down on you. It's just physics. Woo. So that's all I got.
Boom. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good. Because at the same time, I said I'm still trying to, cope with my emotional issues.
Yeah, man, have a cry. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I don't know, man.
Yo, just go to work with that blinky.
Nah.
Just let everybody have it.
Listen, I'm
like a real American.
Listen, I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? I'm way too blessed to be stressed.
Sean,
Listen,
it's all right, man. Yo, go grab.
He came hyped today.
Grab.
Trump, got him stirred up.
Go grab the AK-47.
But see, look, this is a man. Look, he needs evaluation. He has emotional health issues. He's talking about loading up, and going put a couple of people down.
You know what I'm saying? The views expressed on this podcast do not represent.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, please.
Or old head wild.
Yes, please stay that because listen. I mean, like I said before, I do get annoyed about stuff, and yes. Things do piss me off because I feel like, what's the problem? Yeah. Why does everybody have to make everything such bigger than what it is? Yeah. Hit it and quit it and let's go.
Let's go, baby.
But like I said, I'm still working out my emotional health. This was a great topic today, fellas. I'm definitely gonna research this a little bit more. And my wife, she calls it self-care.
That's what my wife said the same thing.
Yeah, man, you take care of your beard. You know what I'm saying? You can take care of your emotions. That's the word. Treat your emotions like your beard.
Right. Treat my emotions like I treat my beard. I guess like you treat your kids. Just listen. This was great, and I guess till next time.
Tell them where they can find you, good sir.
Oh yes. I gotta remember that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can find me at Twitter. I mean not Twitter. Instagram. Old Head Wildin'. That's old_head_wildin'. Y'all can hit me up. We could talk about it. Friend request me. Let's have a good time. And I'm cool, humble. And go ahead, Adam. Don't forget about the R Squared Network. You can find the 36 Chambers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? On YouTube, SoundCloud. What else? I did iTunes.
On iTunes, we are on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Search 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. We're on Instagram at 36COF_. You could catch me on Twitter. I gotta change the handle. I'm gonna change it to 36COF.
You on Twitter too?
I be tweeting, but only when I'm on the toilet.
Okay.
But not the 36 Chambers.
So you
myself.
got something in common with Trump.
Yes.
Maybe
hey.
That's that dragon energy.
I came with dragon energy today. Maybe that's why I'm projecting so much. That I'm just I just felt it. You know what I'm saying?
You're in a roll today.
But hey, it's something that because I researched this topic and it's been a long time coming. Now it's just like just coming out.
P's and Q's with you for next week, man.
36COF_. For Instagram. And also there is an episode what we've been talking about is self-care. We've been talking about health. So the next episode is with a good friend of ours, Andre Fantroy, who is a wellness coach, so be on the lookout for that. He breaks it down to, what mistakes fathers are doing as far as eating food or exercising and just finding a way for you to live a healthier lifestyle, and then in turn going into your home and offering that healthy lifestyle to a healthy household. However, this is the R Squared Network. This is 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. We are one of the shows. Steve, tell them what else we have on the roster, sir.
All right, yeah, if you are into politics, we have the second page. And if you are into film and TV news, we have On the Reel. Later today, we are going to record our spoiler-filled Infinity War review, as well as our On the Reel proper, where we are going to rank all 19 of the MCU movies, as well as talk about some of the news of the week.
And
also,
go ahead.
You can find me if you want to get to me directly. If you want to get at me, just go search for Steve A.M. Johnson on your favorite social media network, as long as it's not Snapchat.
Batman died.
Yo!
I'm joking. Batman died in Infinity War. Batman and Superman died.
Yeah.
There goes your spoiler.
I tell you what, though.
Are we done?
No CG mustaches were hurt in Infinity War.
What?
That's my spoiler.
No what?
No CG mustaches. The people will get it. They understand.
CG mustache. CG.
Yeah, it's okay. They understand. But that's it, folks.
All right.
All right, y'all. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Bro. Listen to the kids. Bro. Listen to the kids, bro.